Alrighty, you guys, I am filming the part 3 of unboxing my manufactured stickers for my little sticker shop. So, in the previous video, I showed all of these. I'm just putting them in this pouch for now until I have the time to organize them and photograph them. So yeah, I have glow-in-the-dark, I have glitter holographic, and then we are getting into the shattered glass designs. So extremely excited. Go ahead and check out those previous videos if you want to see what designs are in those other effects and styles. And I will be working through a lot of today and probably the next couple of days getting all of these designs up in the shop. So hopefully by the time you watch this video they will be up and ready for you. Yeah, one of my favorite things about the manufacturer that I use is they're very understanding about doing small quantities of designs. So they have it set up where you have minimum quantities. The minimum quantities are usually like, it's either 10 or 50. But if it's 50, they let you do multiple designs. So you can do like 5 designs with 10 each. Which I'm all about that life because I have so many designs that I was like really wanting to see in person, wanting to test out, wanting to just give them a chance. But I didn't want to buy like massive quantities of all these designs because I just had no idea, you know, for sure what's really gonna appeal to people and what's not. So obviously I do research and all the things, but at the end of the day, you'd be surprised at what ends up being your popular design and what ends up just like sitting there. And it's like, for me personally, it's never the design that like hits big is never the design that I like thought would. I'd be like, oh, this design's like flying off the shelf, and I didn't think like that much of it. Like I loved it, obviously, so I'm not gonna sell it if I don't. But I didn't think it like that would be the one. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like really love using this manufacturer, because manufacturing is always going to be a financial commitment and a gamble as a business owner, but at least this way I get to test out, you know, as many of my ideas as I want at like a reasonable price, because I can do the multi designs under the one like minimum quantity. So that's that. Another thing I really like about them is obviously the quality. If I didn't like their quality, I wouldn't do them. And lastly, they almost always give extras. So I kind of mentioned it in my previous video, but basically I'm pretty sure the reason for that is that like they probably have like a standard size sheet that they use, and so they just print the one design on that sheet and then have like, obviously your minimum has to fit, but if there's like extra, they just like give them to you. So I'm guessing what's happening. Obviously I don't know like for sure. But yeah, I always order 10 of any design that I haven't sold before. So if it's a new design, I always order 10. If it's a previous existing design that I know sells, I'll order more. But for now, I'm going through like a rapid growth phase of my shop, not from like a sales standpoint, because obviously I'm like a baby shop who just started their YouTube channel, but from like a design standpoint, I've just been I worked really hard on building this huge library of designs, and then I committed to getting them manufactured. So the amount of designs available is like going through the roof compared to before, when I was working crazy hours in my like primary job. Didn't have time for that. So that's where we're at. So there's a bunch of Pokemon themed designs in here. A lot of the designs are, so it's like Pokemon, nature, surrealistic, and like kawaii, I feel like are kind of the avenues that I take with my designs. But yeah, I love Gengar. Look how cute he is. He's so happy with his Pokeball. And let's see. Like I said, I always order 10, so let's see how many they actually gave me. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, so that tracks. It's usually about 14 or 15 that I end up getting. I have ordered from them before, but like I said, it's always been just the standard matte. It hasn't been like the fancy. And then if you want to see, I don't know how thick they are, pretty thick. which I love because I want you guys to have a good, solid product that's going to weather the weather. That was a dumb way to say that, but you know what I mean. I want it to be long lasting. And then for those of you who have been watching the series of videos of me showing the library of designs that I got ordered, you already know these are card sleeves that are like a frosty clear matte that I bought from a local card shop, and they are just perfect for housing and storing my designs. They are the perfect width, and they keep them nice and safe and snug, and so that is how I keep my stuff safe and organized, and I love it. As a card collector, I think it's cute to also have the card folder for like all my stickers. So if you haven't done that before, definitely recommend. I show you mine in a previous video, so go ahead and check that out. And then I'll also, once I'm done completely inventorying, photographing, doing all the things, I will probably try to film a video of them like finished, being organized in my my binders and stuff, so you can see like a flip through of the whole library of my shop. These videos have been long, so I'm trying to be better about that and focus on showing you the designs versus like opening everything up and just like rambling endlessly. So let me pull out probably not going to be able to easily find all of them, but I definitely have certain like themes going on, right? So I have like the water ocean theme with like mermaids and jellyfish and starfish and whales and all the pretties. And then I have Pokemon, of course. And then I have a good amount of like dogs and cats, my puppies. And yeah, so I think this is gonna arguably take longer for you to like watch me do this, so I'm gonna stop. But let's just go. So this design actually sells really well in the shop. It's very cute. It's a little mountain scene in a jar. And I have never done it in the shattered glass before, but I figured it fit the design really well. So hopefully that is a positive change that people enjoy. But yeah, that design sells really well, and it has been a design in the shop for a while. Same with this one. Again, they've all been regular matte before, so this is having like different types is going to be new to the shop. That one sells pretty well. This one is a classic design that's been in the shop for a while. And then my top seller, one of my top sellers is actually this one, Ghosts at the Arcade. So yeah, I made this design on a whim. I just thought it was insanely cute, but I didn't like, you know, I don't know. I didn't know it was going to be my top seller, so that's cool. And I have an adorable happy corgi. Little snow fox. Kitty. Of course. I used to have a chow. He was the sweetest. His name was Kodiak. Like Kodiak Bear, but we obviously just called him Cody. But yeah, he would always sneeze in threes. And every time he sneezed, he looked like just like shocked. Like, what is life? What is happening to me right now? He was so disoriented. Every time he sneezed, it was the cutest thing. And he had, you know, the purple tongue, of course. He was a very, very sweet dog. He, that breed is known for being very reserved and being, like, I think they were originally, like, bred to be guard dogs. So they're like fiercely loyal to their family, and they're not particularly interested in anyone else. But he was never aggressive. He was never mean. Nothing like that. He was nothing to like worry about. He would just kind of like huff at people who weren't family and be like, "Don't touch me. I don't like you." But he was such a sweetheart. I adored that dog. He just looked like a black lion. And those. Of course, you have to have all manner of bears because my shop is literally named Bear with Me. So I have both regular bears and teddy bears. And this, like, white wolf, oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Those, like, steely blue eyes with the glass. Oh my gosh. I love that design. That design, like, sings to me. I've been doing photography for going on, like, 13 years. So, of course, I have to have random photography related stuff, and I love surrealism. If you like watch my previous unboxing videos, you'll see that the glow in the dark section of my shop has a whole bunch of like sci-fi surrealistic girls who look like they're like jumping out of or going into or like holding like vortexes. I just think it's really cool. She is so pretty. Look at her. Oh my gosh, look at her. She's so pretty. Okay. And then some of my mermaids. There. Oh, sorry. The light is kind of hard to see when it's like, that's why I'm like moving it around. So hopefully you can see it well. Mermaids, mermaids. All of the mermaids. I think, it's hard to have a favorite. It's hard to have a favorite, but I think I'm leaning, as far as favorite of these, I'm leaning towards the pink one. But as far as what works best with the glass, probably this one. I mean, they're all gorgeous. That's why I got them, but that's why I made them. Why I got them made. Got some jellyfish. I've been stung by jellyfish before. Fun fact. And not so fun experience. But yeah, I went on a trip to Mexico with my grandparents when I was a kid. I was like really young. And there was like one day where we went on a boat to this like beach, and then we went, well, we were supposed to go snorkeling. So I get in the water and I'm waiting, I'm swimming around, waiting for my grandparents. And it felt like my leg was bashing up against like a really jagged rock. And I was like, and it hurt pretty bad. And I was like, ow, like what is happening right now? I don't understand. So I kept swimming in circles trying to like get away from this rock, and I kept like kicking and being like, okay, I don't understand. Like I can't really see what I'm hitting. I don't like understand why I can't get away from it. And so eventually I just like swam back to shore, and I was like, my leg really hurts. And I'm like, I think I was like scraping up against something, but I couldn't really see it, and I don't know what's happening. So I'm like a little kid. I don't understand what's going on. And they're like, oh, and the guy who worked at the island, he was like, oh, that you were swimming in a sea of jellyfish. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, you were in like a swarm of jellyfish. And he's like, that's gonna hurt for a while. And I'm like, oh. And I start like tearing up because it's hurt really, really bad. And he's like, oh, but don't worry, you're lucky. And he just pulls his shirt up, and he has this massive, like, just crazy scar of like burns and all this stuff that look like lightning, you know? And he's like, yeah, you got it easy. Like, there's 2 different types out there. That's just the one that like hurts really bad but doesn't leave a scar. Like, I got hit by like the burned ones, and I was like, oh, okay. And then yeah, that was quite the day. Day in the life. And I just told you a long story about jellyfish. Yep. Which makes sense. That's kind of how my unboxing videos are probably gonna go, to be honest. It's just like tell you random stories as I show you stuff. So hopefully that's not annoying. This one has been in the shop for a while, and I like it, and people seem to like it. And look, oh my gosh. Happy. And this skunk, because skunks are insanely cute. Have you guys seen that TikTok? There's a TikTok channel that like the person owns a skunk as a pet, and it has like a lot of sass, and it keeps like and then it'll like hop and then like I don't know. I'm not describing that well at all, but that TikTok is like insanely cute. The skunks are funny. And then a raccoon, of course. Of course. In my hometown, there is raccoons like everywhere all the time, of course. But my mom loves raccoons, so she likes to feed them. And so there was this one raccoon in particular who figured out where our dog food bowl was, and he got so fat because mom would just like leave all this food out for him, and he would stuff himself all the time. And it was so funny because you'd look outside and you'd see this like fat ass raccoon eating dog food, and he would just like waddle away. You're just like, all right, whatever, I don't care. But that was pretty funny. And then there's another time where there's a mama raccoon and her babies, and they're running around in our backyard, and I went out, and the babies were like having a hard time getting up over the fence and into the next yard. And so I just like, not snuck up on them, but I like walked up and a good distance away because I didn't want mama to get mad at me, and took a video of these babies like struggling. It was really cute. Because they eventually did make it to the other side into the tree, but then one of them kept like starting to crawl up, and then like half like falling over, and then he'd like catch himself, but then he'd be like upside down and he'd be like, I don't know what I'm doing. The raccoons are really funny. And then, so yeah, a lot of nature designs, a lot of animal designs, because I'm gonna make stuff of things that I love, because that's makes sense. And then obviously I'm gonna hopefully make stuff that you guys love, so that you the whole point is to bring beautifulness and joy into people's lives. It's one of my absolute favorite things about being a sticker maker is like stickers make people so happy. I was like, it's such a low point of entry to be a positive impact on people, and I just love that so much. And what got me into sticker making was my first trip to Japan. I saw a store multiple times because they had like a bunch of brick and mortars called B-Side Label. And B-Side Label is like they have like a whole physical store, and almost all they sell is stickers. So wall to wall, every nook and cranny is like stickers. And then the only other thing that they sell is like they'll occasionally sell like keychains of the same designs, or something like that, or some other trinket of the same design. But for like 90% of the store is stickers. And I walk in here and it was like heaven. I was like, I've never seen this in my life, and I don't want to leave. And I was like, this is so freaking cool. Why isn't this like a thing in the States that you can just like walk into this little store and then just like wall to wall, just like pick off, like they had little like the sticker would just be in like a little bag like this with like a, you know, like a hole or whatever, and it'd be on a hook, and then they'd have like all just displays everywhere, head to toe, right? And you could just like whoop, pull it off and like go, and you'd have like this whole pile of stickers that you could buy. And I was just like, this is amazing. Like I was just like, I had loved stickers to death when I was a kid, and I had collected them and like hoarded them, and they were like my prized possession as a kid. But again, I like never like occurred to me that they would make me this happy as an adult until I was like in it, and I was like game changer. And so I come home and I'm like, okay, you know what? I have always loved the idea of like having my own little shop somehow, and doing my own thing like in that way somehow. And so why not be like a sticker shop? Like, why not? So I seriously love this design. So I know I showed you earlier in the video, one of my best sellers is a Ghost at the Arcade, but obviously it's a very different vibe. But I still really love that concept, and so this kind of has like almost like a Stranger Things kind of vibe. It's not, but it kind of has that similar way. And whoa, jeez, I'm good at dropping stuff. And then this I also really love. Oh my gosh. Okay, granted, I love a lot of my designs, like arguably all of them, you know what I mean? But like I still love some more than others. That's just how it goes. But yeah, these two are some of my top favorites. I'm obsessed with bears, hence the name of my shop. So of course I'm very happy with the bears. This one, I can't get over this one. I'm obsessed with pink and photography, so of course. There's a lot of these that I'm just like, I would like stick them everywhere. That's okay. And then I did make a new Bulbasaur. He looks like he's made out of glass, and I think that's really cool. It's a glass Bulbasaur. And then I went back and forth on my videos on whether I showed the Pokemon first or last. And so this the previous video I showed them first. So this video I'm showing them last. So cute. So this design is the same one as my keychain. So I made a very small run of the keychains because I had never ordered the keychains before, and obviously it's a bigger financial commitment. So I ordered 6. There's 6 of them that came. I'd have to check my receipt if I actually ordered 6 or not. But I'm keeping one for myself, but there will be 5 in the shop. So yeah, if you like this design, you have both the sticker option and, at least right now, the keychain option. And then if those keychains sell well or sell quickly, I will order another batch of them. I'm going to order more keychains in general, period. But obviously I want to see if like people actually like that one before I like get a higher quantity of them. I think this one would also make an insanely cute keychain. Obviously I have a thing for like happy sleepy Charizards. I don't know what that's about, but it's facts. It's the truth. And Charizard, he's having a bath. He's sipping that tea, you know what I mean? It's important to make yourself laugh. I'm just saying. And that's it. So this is all of the shattered glass. Oh, all of the shattered glass designs. Look at that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like I said, hopefully I'll be working on this literally probably all day, realistically. Between getting them all out and organized and taking all the pictures, getting them uploaded to the shop. This is most likely going to be a more than one day task. Realistically. But thank you so much for watching. Last video I will try to make shorter, and it is just going to be my regular mat designs, which are still beautiful and I'm still very excited. But they're not going to have like an effect on them the way the previous videos have. This was my first run of doing all the fancy effects, and no regrets. It's definitely more expensive, but like I explained, my manufacturer is very understanding about like allowing you to use multiple designs for minimum quantities. So I think their rule is like, if I remember right, it's 50 stickers is like the minimum quantity, but they let you do multiple designs, and it's just the design itself's minimum is 10. So that's what I did so that I could test out all the designs that I wanted to. So this bag is getting really full. But yay. Okay. I will see you in the next video. This is not how I'm storing them, just so you know. This is just where I'm putting them so that they're not just a massive heap on my desk, but I will be doing the, like, very careful, very pretty organization of putting them in the binder. So, see you in the next video.